Intro hook, immediate emotional pull. She was sitting on the edge of a park bench, head in her hands, shaking with sobs. People walked by. No one stopped, but Daniel did. He didn't know her name, didn't know her story. Only that something about the way she cried reminded him of someone he used to know, someone he had lost years ago, and never stopped searching for. What happened next was nothing short of a miracle. And by the end of that day, he didn't just help a stranger, he found his sister, the one he thought he had lost forever. If you believe in stories that touch the soul and remind us that fate has a mysterious way of working, please like this video and subscribe to our channel, Everyday Grace. Your support helps keep kindness alive in the world. A cry that felt familiar. It was a cool autumn morning in Portland, Oregon, the kind of morning where the fog hangs low, the streets are still wet from the night's drizzle, and life feels a little slower. Daniel Reed, 34, was on his usual jog through Hawthorne Park, earbuds in, hoodie pulled tight, trying to silence the noise in his head, the bills piling up, the loneliness he carried like a second skin. The haunting absence of a sister he hadn't seen in over 20 years. Her name was Elena, his little sister. She had been 6 when they were separated by the foster care system after their parents died in a house fire. Daniel, barely a teenager, himself had tried to hold on to her, but they were placed in different homes. Letters stopped arriving. Names were changed. One adoption after another, and she was gone. He never stopped looking, year after year, even as life moved forward. Even as people told him to let it go. He couldn't. On this particular morning, as he passed a row of benches near the duck pond, he noticed her, a young woman, probably late 20s, curled in on herself, crying uncontrollably. Something made him stop. Maybe it was her voice, the sound of her sobs, the way she hugged her knees to her chest like a lost child. He pulled out his earbuds, approached slowly, and asked, "Are you okay?" She looked up. And for a split second, his heart stuttered. Something in her face felt so familiar, but no, impossible. He shook the thought off. She wiped her face quickly. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make a scene." "You're not," he said gently. "Do you need help? I can get someone," or she hesitated, then said, I just lost my job. "My rent's overdue? I don't have anyone here. I thought I could start over in this city, but I think I was wrong." Her voice broke. Daniel sat down beside her. "I've been there," he said softly. "I know what it's like to start from nothing. To feel alone." There was a long pause. Then she looked at him carefully. "You said your name's Daniel?" He blinked, surprised. "No, I didn't." She froze. His chest tightened. "Wait," she whispered. "Is your last name Reed?" His heart skipped again. "Yes." She slowly reached into her purse and pulled out an old, creased photograph. 2 kids, holding hands, smiling in front of a fire truck. He felt the world tilt. "Elena?" Her lip trembled. "Danny?" And then the world disappeared around them. She leapt into his arms. Both of them sobbing like children, right there on the bench in the middle of the park, after 22 years. They had found each other again. The lost years they spent hours sitting on that bench, catching up on decades of missed life. Elena told him everything, how she had been adopted by a couple who moved to Texas. How the new parents renamed her Lena and kept her from asking about her brother, how she'd tried, in secret, to search for Daniel online, but with no success. How, when she turned 18, she ran away from her adoptive home, drifting from city to city, always hoping fate would somehow lead her to him. "I always carried this photo," she said. "I didn't even know if your name was still Daniel. But every time I saw someone with kind eyes, I looked closer, just in case." Daniel told her how he never stopped looking either. How every face in every crowd was a maybe, how he had applied for jobs in cities where adoption records had dead ends, how part of him never believed she was truly gone. They sat under that slowly warming sun, 2 lost souls who had finally come home to each other. "I thought I was helping a stranger," Daniel said, "but it was you. It was always you." The return of grace over the next few weeks. They rebuilt everything piece by piece. Daniel offered her his spare bedroom, helped her apply for new jobs. They went through childhood albums, made late-night tea, shared old jokes, and cried over memories that still hurt. There were nights they stayed up talking until dawn, laughing, healing, learning who they had become, and remembering who they had once been. Elena eventually found work as a social worker helping other foster kids navigate the same broken system that had separated them. Daniel, a freelance graphic designer, used his talents to create a nonprofit website called Find Me First, where people separated by adoption or displacement could connect through photos and records. Just like they had, their bond became something sacred, stronger than blood, stronger than time, forged through pain, but anchored in love. And on the 1-year anniversary of their reunion, they returned to the same park bench, this time not to cry, but to give. They handed out blankets, food bags, warm drinks, and small cards that said, "Greater than to the stranger reading this, you are not forgotten." Help comes in the most unexpected ways. Keep going, Daniel and Elena. Final message, call to action for the viewers. Sometimes, we're not meant to understand why life takes people away from us, but we are meant to believe that someday, the broken pieces will find their way back. Daniel helped a crying stranger, and in doing so, found his sister, because kindness, no matter how small, is never wasted. It travels. It heals, and sometimes, it leads you home. If this story moved your heart, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Everyday Grace. Together we can remind the world that hope is never lost, and family can be found in the most unexpected moments.